Okay, so that's how we're starting out this fucking series. Let's talk about it. Today on Wise Beyond the Glass, The Assassin's Blade, Part 1, The Pirate Lord, Chapters 1 through 5. Man, that is a mouthful to say. That's what she said. Anyway, digressing. Okay, so we start out, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and like any person at 4 o'clock in the morning, especially a 16-year-old assassin, Selena's pissed. She walks into this room, she's fucking Arabin, and we see Sam. Now, I'm not going to lie, everything that I know, I thought her and Sam were buddy-buddy, but apparently at this point, they are not like that yet, okay? So they are still bashing heads. So Sam sits in Ben's chair. Now we find out that Ben is a 30-something-year-old number 2 guy, and I don't mean he's a shitter. I mean he's like second in charge, and he's one of those guys that he doesn't want to be in charge, but he will do whatever he's got to do to keep Arab and Hamill in charge and happy because that keeps him happy. So anyway, we figure out about that, and then apparently Gregago, I don't know, he's probably some exotic name like Joe Dirte. Anyway, we find out that they have apparently been, okay, and she's like, what the hell, and like, why didn't y'all get their bodies? And like, we tried to get there, but there were guards, and she's like, we're fucking assassins, it's a basic task, is body retrieval, what the fuck? So they go down to this big thing. Arabin stands up, fucking checks Sam in his place, and is like, you don't fuck with her right now, dude, just learn to pick your battles, bitch. So anyway, so that happens. She turns around and storms off, like, where are you going? She's like, bitch, I'm gonna go get the fucking body. So she goes and gets the bodies. And then we flash forward, and it's a very specific, not months later, but it is fucking 2 months, 3 days, very specific time. So I wonder if that'll come into play. But we find out that they have traveled to go meet the pirate lord Ralph the pirate lord. Okay, now they think they're there because some assassins were with some pirates at Bellhaven, and they're about to get repayment. So they go up in there, and she's got her hood and her mask on because she's got to keep her identity. She's sweating her fucking, okay, well, Sam's sweating his balls off. I'm sure she's got under boob sweat and is just sucking because she's got a cloak and a mask on. She can't drink water. It sucks. So she's dealing with that. So again, he finally shows up late, and they're all snarky comments back and forth, and then they're like, yeah, you fucking owe us money. He's like, well, they bicker back and forth, and then finally Sam pulls out a letter. He opens the shit up, and he's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we have these agreements for, and he's like, wait, what? And we find out they're there for purchasing a certain living item, okay? We'll just say that, okay? So he's there to purchase, yeah, those things, people. So anyway, digressing. And so he's there to that, and like, wait, why is Arabin getting this business? That's not our thing. So they're like, wait, what the fuck? So again, their morals are showing, okay, I like how they don't like it. We get more of their past, how they're struggling with this. Selena gets some information. She's coming up with a plan. She's like, nah, this is bullshit. Here's my line, and I don't cross this line. She's like, I'll kill, politicians and stupid adulterers and shit, but kids and people, they didn't get this choice, and she goes through all that. So thank you, Selena. Way to have a normal conscious brain. Digressing now. So she goes through that. They look through how the whole process is going to go, building a plan. Then they find out that there's the young ones in here. So now we've got this whole, people trading process going on, and the little kids are in there too. So now Sam is pissed because, Sam had the choice. He could have been like Archer and been a Deuce Bigelow male gigolo, or he could have been an assassin. But I guess his mom chose an assassin because he's that pretty or something. So anyway, so they're there, and they're like, yeah, we can't do this. So they go through the thing, and the inspection, they find out some information, and they end up leaving. They're going to the beach because it's too fucking hot in her room, right? It's so hot. She got to wear the fucking mask because nobody can see what she looks like. So anyway, so they go to the beach. They're sitting there, and they're looking out, and we find out about the big old chain storm or shipbreaker. So basically, the island, it's like in a big old horseshoe with mountains on the side, right? And then where their keep is, and then in this horseshoe thing, they got a big old chain. It's a huge chain that like rips ship's mass apart, and they got catapults and cannons and all this shit. So they're pretty safe. We're like, how are you gonna fucking get out? She's like, well, and he's like, well, the ship will leave tomorrow about the same time as you. She's like, okay. So she's coming up with the plan. And as she's doing this on the beach, Sam's like, what the fuck are you doing, girl? And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I know you're up to something. They end up getting to a tussle. Sam ends up on top, and he's like, hey, come on, chill. And she's like, arr, and he's like, no, just chill. So they promise to chill. And then she's like, listen, we can't stand for this. And Sam's like, but what do we do about Arabin? And she's like, don't worry, I'll fucking deal with Arabin. And Sam's fuck it, you're right, we got to do something. So it's good to see that the two assassins know that getting into this sort of business is fucked up, and they're not going to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't even know where to go from there. We have started with a bang. Operation Two Boats to Freedom. The stunning conclusion. The assassin and the pirate lord. Okay, let's get into it. Selena and Sam, they're figuring out their plan. They know what they're doing. They open a tab at the bar, tell everybody get fucked up. As everybody's getting fucked up, they go dismantle a bunch of boats and the rudders and other stuff. They go out to the 2 boats that are taking the people they're trying to free out to freedom, right? So they go in, disable the guards. Listen, I'm telling you, this game needs to be, this series needs to be a video game. Do not call it Assassin's Creed. Do not put it in that series. As much as I love Assassin's Creed, don't put it in that series. Don't let Ubisoft touch it. But make this a game and it will sell. People will play this shit. I'm just saying, digressing. Okay, so she gets on the boat, does her things, disable the guard. She goes down and she talks to Daya, who she realized she can use as a translator, tells them the plan, says at daytime, you start paddling and get the fuck out of here, right? You understand me? All right, cool, bet. So they get him to the other boat to explain that shit to the other boat. They go back to town. They're getting everybody sloshed and tossed, right? They're playing games. Everybody's freaking boom. She's chilling, sipping on some water. Sam's got a little hole in his glass, so he's not really drinking. Like he comes up, lets it hit his lips, take a little swig, and he puts it down. A hole like drips down, but nobody notices because this place is dirtier than an Iraqi burn pit. Trust me, I know. Those places were nasty, and the way they smell this bar, nobody notices that beer is just getting spilt out. Like she's dumping beers out. Nobody cares. It's so nasty. Makes my stomach churn. But let's digress. So 3 o'clock in the morning, Captain's still going. She's like, let's play some fucking cards. So they start playing cards. It's like 5:30 now. Now the captain's drunk and belligerent. So like, okay, it is go time. So they start doing their thing. Now this is like a Rube Goldberg on how a fight started. It is fucking poetry in motion. I'm going to read to you how it goes. So it says, she trips a drunk pirate who spills his drink and then punches Captain Ralph. Captain Ralph went to punch the dude, but missed it, punched the wrong guy. When he punches the wrong guy, that led to a hidden card falling down onto a prostitute. The prostitute then slapped a wench, and then it turned out into a full-out fucking brawl. Okay? So after they're doing that shit, they're trying to fight. Like, she even takes a solid shot to the face, right? That's what she said. On the way out the door. And then they sneak out, and as soon as they sneak out, they're like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Fucking Ralph shows up and is like, haha, hello. Like, what the fuck? Hang on, gotta flip the notes. So Ralph goes into this like, what the fuck are y'all two doing? He's like, is this your plan? You trying to get gold information? Like, what the fuck? Out of the corner of her eye, Selena finally starts to see the ship's fucking moving, and she's like, fuck, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. Finally, the motherfucker looks, and it goes, oh shit. He's like, alarm. He starts screaming alarm, and Selena's like, fuck, I gotta do something. How do I distract him? She's like, I got it. Rom-com move. That's what I'm calling it, the rom-com move, because she slowly lowers her hood. She pulls the back of the string on her mask, and she drops her mask, and she wisps her hair like, I'm not a sex, you're pretty, but whips her hair back, right? And fucking Ralph is like, what? You're 16? And she's like, yeah. He's like, they sent you, a fucking kid, to deal with me? And she's like, bitch, you should fucking take that as an honor that I'm even here. And they start going, and then Ralph does a couple moves. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I think she does it on purpose, because she ends up where he's got this, and he's got a knife at her fucking throat, right? And she's like, all right, and he's fucking monologuing, like, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, and she's like, all right, yapping. I tell you, if villains would shut the fuck up and not monologue, a lot more of y'all would fucking win. I'm just saying, digressing. Anyway, so he's fucking monologuing, so they start to step. She goes, walks, foot behind him, trips, throws her hand up because, like, he's got the little, like, it's a pen, but the knife there, so she throws it up, fucking blocks it, trips down, goes on top, has the knife on. I'm talking straight ass OG John Wick. I am a badass motherfucker. Whew, man, she gets my heart pumping. Anyway. Again, another comparison to John Wick and her, how I say, John Wick is just like her, because you know how John Wick in the movies, like, the one guy he left a knife in, said, blah, 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 that's how he gets this, like, she does the same thing, okay? First book, she's letting people, like, there's, the similarities are there. Anyway, digressing. And so she goes in and she's like, listen, you're going to sign these 2 documents. You're not going to be in the slave trade no more. You're not going to sell people. You're going to do this, that, and the other. If not, I will. And he's like, I ain't doing that. And she's like, motherfucker, you will. Finally, he's like, all right. So he signs the documents and then stamps them like a fucking notary. We're like, okay, they're notarized. You're legal, binding. So he does that, and then she fucking knocks him out and takes off running. Or so she thinks. We find out later, I guess he kind of follows her, but we'll get to that. So she goes running, and she's looking at fucking Sam, right? Like, what is Sam doing? Because Sam is the whole time that he took off, and she's doing this fight. He's got to lower the fucking chain and break down these catapults so the two ships that are palling out can get there. So he's running close. He's fighting. Ching, 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 ching. Here goes. He's like, fuck, what am I going to do? He ends up turning the fucking catapult. He fucking turns it, fucking launches the catapult at the other wall where the chain goes. So crumble, fucking direct hit, first shot. Love how they get it on the first shot. But again, digressing. You got to have that moment. The ships barely make it through. Like, Selena's over there, like, she sees the ships get out and the sails unravel and they get out there. And as she's looking for fucking Sam, this again, Ralph fucking shows up behind her and he's like, what the fuck, what the fuck? Sorry, not Ralph. She's searching for the fucking rocks and she can't figure out, and she's yelling Sam. And Sam fucking is right behind her, and she's like, what the fuck, you didn't answer me? And he's like, hey, I figured I'd enjoy this for a little bit, looking for me. And she kind of turns to him and she fucking runs up and hugs him, and he's like, hey, wait, what the fuck? But then he's like, hey, this is kind of nice. So they kind of fucking embrace, and then she's smelling in his essence and everything, and she looks up and she's like, listen, if you tell anybody about this, I will fucking gut you. And this is where I think her feelings for Sam started to grow. The assassin and the healer. Let's get into it. Okay, so Selena's getting punished for breaking up the whole pirate deal, right? We remember what happened there, right? That was yesterday. So her punishment is an ass whooping, and she's got to go to the Red Desert to train with the muted master trainer of assassins. I think they missed it. Should have called it the muted monk master of assassins, but that's just me digressing. So anyway, she's on her trip there, all bruised up. She's itching for a fight. She's in the shithole of shittiest holes, okay? This place is here, where she was just at a Skull Bay is fucking up here. Like, that's how much of a shithole it is, okay? The innkeeper doesn't change the sheets until there's lice and fleas. I'm just saying. Digressing. So Selena's here, right? And then we kind of flash, and after we get the whole scenery of what's going on, we meet Urena. Y'all know I fucking suck with names. Let's just move on. We won't talk about it. Digressing. So, we find out her story, right? So, we'll get into more of that later. But we find out her story, and then we flip to a scene where Selena leaves. She goes back to her room, and she's like, nah, I'm itching for a fight. Shit's going to happen. Let's go pop this off. So she ends up leaving. While that's there, Urena, she's doing her nightly chores because everybody's left. People try to come up to her. Typical barkeep stuff. You get it, groping on her. I don't approve any of it, but y'all get what I'm saying, right? So she's throwing food out, and she tries to do the right thing for the poor people, the bread and the nasty stew. She leaves it for them. Even though she gets in trouble if they get caught, she still does it. But as she's out there doing this, 3 dudes try to show up, okay? And she's like, fuck, this is about it. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, the OG John Wick, Selena walks up and goes, whoop, 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 whoop. Doesn't know what happens. 2 dudes down. The other dude's like, what the fuck? He takes off running. Fucking Urena's like, what the fuck was that? And Selena's like, hey, listen, you gotta learn to fucking protect yourself and all this. And Urena's like, yeah, you're right. Hey, you got a cut on your arm, let me fix that. And Selena's like, no, I got this. And she's like, hey, there could be something on the knife. And she's like, fine. So she goes in, and this is where Urena gives her the backstory. So the backstory is Urena's mom was one of the most popular magical healers, all renowned, right? And then when King Douche Canoe, that we've been reading about, found the ward keys and stuff and started destroying magic. The army came through there, and she'd already lost her magic for a while, but they didn't believe it. So they started to go, and this is the first time her mom ever took a life, right? So she takes the guard's life, and the guards end up punishing her by burning her alive. That is some fucked up shit, but I understand. I'm not saying I understand it or agree, but I get it. Digressing. So she goes off, lives with the cousin. A few years later, finally, she's like, I'm going to be a healer. I'm going to go south to Antica, okay? Or whatever the name of that fucking place is. But on her journey there, she runs out of money in this shithole of a town. And then it's just been one of those things where it's been a year later. And Selena's like, listen, I get it, but you're staying here in this shithole town when you could go south, be more well-traveled, still be broke, but you'd be in a better shithole. You'd be in a better town. You see what I'm saying? So the shitholiness of where she at is here, but if she just got on the boat and fucking went, it would be here. Like, you'd still be shitty and broke, but you'd be more well-traveled. You'd be closer to your dreams of learning at the Tresem Creme or some shit. It sounds definitely fucking French, okay? So it's probably way over expensive and I wouldn't understand shit, but digressing. So she's like, never thought of that, yeah. So then she's like, listen, and you gotta learn to take care of yourself. So then we get into this little training montage. She's like, if a dude comes back, she's like, step on the foot and elbow in the gut, punch him in the face and then kick him in the nuts. Like, you know, whatever. She's like, do these things, and it's like, all cool. So she's like, all right, bet. So she's about to leave, and when they leave, this is when now 5 guys show up. Like, 5 guys, and they ain't bringing burgers and fries, baby. They got other intentions. So Selena's like, I got this. Stay inside, close the door. So Selena's outside, and you just hear ching, 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 ching. You hear notified, and then you hear body thud drop, and ching, 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 and the body thud drop. And you see blood coming up under the bed, and fucking Rena's like, oh shit, what is happening? And all of a sudden, she feels it. She's got a knife. It's a pen. Up on her neck. She's like, oh shit, and the fucking mercenary opens the door and he kicks it up, and Selena's like looking at him, and he's like, you better stop or I'll kill her. And Selena's like, bitch, please. And she's fucking doing her shit, and the dude goes down, and he kind of like moves the knife a little bit on her, and she's bleeding, and she's like, I'll fucking do it. And she's like, bitch, do it then. And Selena looks at Urena, is like, do something with your life, like take control. And fucking all of a sudden, like, time slows down. And Urena fucking gets it. And she fucking stomps and then fucking elbows and fucking like a knee or something and takes off, fucking boom, running. Now, I did forget to mention earlier that they say Urena has got like this iron stomach. That's why she cleans everything up. Never vomits, blood, nothing. Okay, nothing. Iron stomach. But she takes off running. Selena dispatches the dude and ends up dispatching that guy. And then we find out there's Urena. She's vomiting. Ladies and gentlemen, near-death experiences will take people with iron stomachs, and you will feel something completely different. It is wild. Anyway, digressing. So, they come back, and she's talking, and she's like, what are you doing? Why did you do that? She's like, you needed to see that you could take care. That dude was at least had 100 pounds on you, was like 2 feet taller than you. This was a controlled environment. She's like, bitch, controlled environment? She's like, he weren't in any danger. She's like, what the fuck? She's, hey, listen, I just showed you that you're a badass bitch and you don't need nobody to take care of you. You just had it inside yourself. And a lot of people have that too. They don't know how to release it. Digressing. So anyway, Selena tells her she needs to clean up, do this, do that, right? And Selena goes back, gets on her ship. And then as Urena's cleaning up her stuff, she sees this little bag and a note. And the note says, for wherever you need to go and more, the world needs more healers, right? And that is literally a message. So listen, not everybody is going to give you a bag of gold or jewels to allow you to fucking go live your dream. You got to make that shit happen yourself. But I swear to God, or whatever you believe in, if anybody ever gives you a gift like that and says, go pursue your dream, whether it's like quit your job and I'll make it happen, you fucking go and you get off your ass and you fucking do it. Because it doesn't happen all the time. Anyway, Selena gets on the boat. Knows she's going out to the desert, and she falls asleep. Selena has got to get a new travel agent. The Assassins played The Desert and the Assassin, chapters 1 through 6. Okay, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Selena went from being in a shithole to being on fucking Arrakis, and I'm worried about sandworms at this point. Okay, holy shit. Wow. We have gone from one biodome to another, but digressing. All right, so she gets there, she gets to the fucking place, and she meets the muted master, and she gives her spiel, and she's got to be honest with herself, no more hiding her name, because she's got to have a letter that says, I, the muted master, respect Selena Solar-Dorothian, or some shit like that, right? That's the only way Arabin Hamill is going to let her back. So, digressing. So, we do that, he all looks at her, and doesn't say shit, because, he's muted, so... he does some finger wave. All of a sudden, 4 dudes go to attack her, and she fucks them all up. Not a big deal. And this is where we meet Ansel, right? Ansel of some place in the flatlands that the witches used to run, and they're not running anymore. Listen, she is a fucking fireball. She is a redheaded, charming little chatterbox that is hiding her fucking trauma. We find out her trauma, the witches, and this and that, and it is some fucked up shit. We will unpack all that shit later as the story with her progresses, because she's going to come back around. I can tell you, if she is only in this book, I will be fucking pissed. But wow, this is a badass. Anyway, Shows her to a room, says training tomorrow. So she takes a bath, gets some food, shows up training. Training the next day is a 3-mile run to the Oasis. The problem is 3 miles. I could do 3 miles. Hey, when I was in fucking top physical shape, I used to run fucking 5.5, 6-minute miles. No problem. Hey, a couple minutes. Ooh, but then you got to do it with this fucking thing and you got to carry water and then it's up in the fucking sand and up and down. Yeah, that's a good at least 2, 3, 4 hour run, depending on the heat and how good you are. Nah, she takes all day, almost dies. And she's like, I am not here for this bullshit. And this is where I wanted to scream and yell and my army side of me came out a little bit because I'm like, God dang it, woman. Selena, it is not about you. It is not about you training with the fucking master. It is about you putting your shit beside and doing what's best. You have to forget who you are. It's not about being the best assassin. It's about doing what's best for the team. The way the two assassin houses are completely different. So completely different. And she's got to figure that out. And that's why she's here and she'll figure it out. Anyway, so she gets done with the run, goes to dinner. She tries to talk to the boss man. And he's like, wait your time. Sun comes up. She's like, hey, I ain't gonna fuck with him anyway. So comes down. And then like the next night, that night they're like sleeping. They get woken up. And I guess Lord Barrick, he sends some dudes to try to come get like 30 dudes because there was no moon, right? But it's also happened to be at the time that a bunch of assassins were out doing some dignitary bullshit, right? And doing some shit for them. Very sketchy. Later we find out they believe there's a mole. A mole in the assassins. Anyway, so they go, they wake her up, they get up on top and they're like, hey, take the arrow when we say we're going to dip it in the oil and light it on fire and shoot right here. And she's like, why don't we kill him? She's like, listen, we ain't trying to start a fucking war with these guys. We just got time to leave. And plus there's a rope soaked in oil, so it'll be really cool. And it goes all the way around the place. And I'm like, oh, cool. And they're like, oh, 3, 2, 1. So it's flames everywhere. Fuckers take off running. Next day walks up and Ansel's like, hey, you want to come with me? Little, put your train aside, do this. And she's like, begrudgingly she goes. Again, oh, Selena, I understand you're young. I understand you wanted. I was the same way. We'll digress. Oh, I want to. Anyway, so they end up taking like 2 days to get to this town of Xandria. Well, she thinks she's going to go meet with Lord Braddock's too with Ansel, but Ansel's like, nah, listen, just stay here, do some shopping. She's like, what the fuck? She's like, meet me at 3 by the fountain. She's like, all right. So Ansel goes and does her thing, and she's showing around shopping. She sees these shoes, and she's like, oh, shoes are really badass. Never have I ever in my life said I wanted some fancy shoes while being in the fucking desert. Again, digressing. Not saying it's a bad thing, but not something I expected to see. Anyway, as she's looking at these shoes, she kind of takes a quick glance, and she sees this amazing stuff, and she's like, what the fuck? And like when she's talking about, like, she's got her hands in her pocket. She's like a kid in a candy store. She just wants to touch it. It's like a booby for a man. It's like, I want to touch him. Anyway, digressing. That was a little rough. Anyway, it's spider silk. So I ain't gonna lie. I know worms and spiders made silk. I didn't know anything was special, but apparently this stuff is like super special. A handkerchief of it you could retire off of. This guy went and did it. He's got like hundreds of yards. She's like, what the fuck? Apparently it comes from a strega spider, and the strega spiders, like, they can take money, gold, payment, or they can also take your fucking life. So this dude gave up like 25 years of his fucking life. So he's 45 years old looking, but he's only fucking like 20 or some shit. And she's like, what the fuck? And he's like, hey, you go kill a spider, maybe I'll get my shit back. Hey, what do you say? Woo, that was a big one. Anyway, and so digressing. So she's like, well, what do you mean? So anyway, he's like, here, tell you what, gives her a little square, and she's like, oh, wow, this is super cool. So she takes a little 6x6 square of spider silk, and then she leaves, and then she sees the shoes, and she's, fuck it. So she buys the shoes. She goes to the fountain. She's sitting by the fountain, and she's waiting for Ansel. Ansel comes up and is like, let's go. And she's got this extra paced walk, and she's like, what the fuck? She's like, let's go. We get to the stables, and then now we get the story. Remember how when Kale got the present of the horse from Dorian? And she said, oh, I used to have, this is how she got the horse. So they get on these 2 beautiful horses, and they take off running. Guards start coming after them, and this is like a chase scene, and like, fucking, I don't know. Man, it's a chase scene. It's a chase scene. There's a part where they end up taking a shortcut, they said, and they go down by the beach when they're running. That reminded me of a childhood movie because the way they described the horses with the color, it was called Black Beauty. And the black, beautiful stallion was fucking riding with the little kid on the beach. I just saw that. So they're riding, like, come on. So she takes this turn. There's a big old fucking ravine, right? Like, we gotta jump. And she's like, say, what? And she's like, let's go. So they fucking jump the ravine. And the other guys, their regular horses can't jump, but only the super cool horses, right? Part of the plan. Selena wasn't happy about that. She said, you fucking tell me the plan? So when they finally get far enough away, stop. Selena decks her. She falls off. They could have got back that night, but they decided to chill. And as they're sitting there chilling, this is where we find out more about Ansel's story and how her dad, like at the beginning, she says her dad sent her there, but her dad and their family are done. The king, some evil asshole king, came over, another douche canoe, and did that to her, and she ran, and she actually ran into some of these nasty, like, iron teeth witches, and the witch is like, it's not your fate here to die, lady, so gave her some gold, bound her feet up, and said, go south to the assassin. So that's why she's there. And then it ends with them getting back to the Muted Master's fortress. Snake, bats, beetles, and I've been Tamlin again. Motherfucker. The Assassin's Blade, the desert and the assassin. The final part, chapter 7 through 12. Okay, let's get into it. So they just stole the damn horses, right? Oh, I'm so fucking pissed. Okay, digress, focus. All right, so they stole the horses. They're talking to the master. Ansel stated her case. Selena's like, watch this shit. Nah, I'm gonna take care of this shit. She's like, it was me, it was me, it was always fucking me. She takes the blame. And then Ansel is like, hey, why don't you just give the stable duty? And the master's like, and then they get up, and then the master's like, does his little hand snap. Ansel's like, look, and does it again. And Ansel's like, you'll train with him starting tomorrow. And they're like, oh shit. So they wake up the next morning, they're cleaning the fucking stalls, and like, hey, it's better than fucking running 6 miles in the desert, right? And all of a sudden, in that night, Selena starts her fucking trainer, right? And it starts out with an asp, and that's where we go with snakes, bats, and beetles, oh my. So we get a little montage. She's training with the snakes and the asps, and she's learning to move like them and strike, and then she's hanging upside down like fucking Batman, and then she's doing whatever beetles do, whatever, okay? So she's going through that whole thing, and then as she's doing that, weeks pass, and then Ansel, it even says Ansel's giving off like these infectious good vibes. It's like, I almost want to tell the life lesson, like, hey, you got to wake up and choose to be happy. When the signs are right in front of you. Digressing. So anyway, Ansel's all happy. Everybody's all spoppy. A few weeks go by and we get the Midsummer Eve Classic. Yeah, we're going to one of those silent discos. What the fuck? They're drinking wine and they're all dancing to their own fucking song. No headphones, but there's no music, but they getting it. Yeah, Macarena, or whatever the fuck they do, right? So anyway, so they're sitting there. Everybody's dancing, having a good time. So she goes to leave, and this is where Elias, one of the kids, he comes up, the master's kids, he comes up, and he's like, they don't talk, but he's kind of making his move, puts a hand on her, and he goes to kiss her, and she's like, break check, buddy, no, sorry, can't do that, I'm about to leave, she just won't work, and he kind of looks at her, like, can't hate me for trying, and she's like, I'll bet, goes in her room, and all of a sudden, she has flashback about Sam, okay? Now she's realizing her feelings for Sam, these things are real, because when old boy tried to kiss her, she has his memory when Arabin was beating the crap out of her for punishment, right? She couldn't remember what was happening to Sam, except the other two guys were holding him. All of a sudden, now it flashes into her mind that Sam is going, I'll kill you. He just threatened to kill Arabin Hamill. I'm just saying, not the goodest decision. Not the goodest. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying, right? So she goes through that. Anyway, wakes up to stables the next morning. Ansel shows up late. They're having a conversation, and then where the fuck did this come from, people? They're chitting, chatting, what happened last night, this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden it's, you're a spoiled bitch. Like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Big ass fucking argument. She bounces out. Selena's like, fuck it. Cleans the stables herself, trains with the master, but master can tell she's off, right? And master's like, hey, come over here and sit down. He's like, hey, what's up? And they sit there for a while. She can't figure it out, and all of a sudden she's like, listen, I don't want things to go back to the way we were when I leave here. It's just like, blah, blah, blah. And the master gets up and starts doing some like Tai Chi. And then, she gets up and, following with him. And they're all like, wow, doing all this stuff, right? And then they do that until the early morning fucking hours. And then she goes to the bedroom. And fucking Ansel's not there, so she's like, hey, I cleaned the stalls yesterday. She can do that shit herself today. So she goes and takes a sleep. Gets woken up at like dinner time. She's like, oh, better be the afternoon. They're like, motherfucker, it's dinner time. And Ansel's there and got her armor on. That's the first fucking red flag. Why has she got her armor on? But anyway, she's like, hey, sorry. Here, let's have some wine. Boom, boom, boom. She drinks the wine. It's fucking gonorrhea or gorilla or go raw, whatever. She's been poisoned, right? All of a sudden, she wakes up, and the way it sounds like she wakes up, the head's pounding, she hears a hammer and an anvil. I thought they put her ass on a boat and sent her ass back down to fucking Flea Bottom or Ennis or wherever the fuck, Inish, wherever she was, like the hellhole, right? Nah, she in the middle of the desert, she got the horse, she got a letter, and it says, hey, I'm sorry for what it did, but the master said this would be easier instead of you being shamed. And I'm like, what the fuck is she being shamed for? She ain't done nothing wrong. Light bulb didn't click. Anyway, she finds out, she's like, hey, there's a letter. She's like, fuck it. I guess they don't want me no more. Time to bounce. So she leaves. She goes to Xandria, right? She's like thinking it out in order. No, again, Xandria. So she's going to Xandria. She sees 200 soldiers going out towards the fortress. Light bulb hadn't clicked yet. For me, I'm like, wait a minute. Spider silk guy, spy. I had the light bulb click. Didn't click for her. She goes into town trying to stay sneaky because she got the dude's horse, right? She's like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, light bulb click. She's like, oh shit, I gotta get back. Jumps on the fucking horse. Just, Black Beauty scene, I'm on the beach. Jumps over the ring. She gets there. Fucking doors are open. People are extinguished everywhere. And she's like, what the fuck? She goes up, Malachi. He gone. Oh God. She's freaking Elias. Elias has been gutted, but nothing major hurt. He kind of points over to the master. She fucking walks in the door, and then she sees the master on the ground, kind of paralyzed. And Ansel's got the sword up, and she's like, oh shit, pulls out her dagger. It goes in fucking, she's like, oh, what the shit? They go into this big old cool fight. And again, the villain monologuing. Why are we, if you want to win the fight, don't monologue. Okay? Just saying. So they sit here and go, and then she basically gets, when I say her, Selena gets Ansel to basically say, she's like, if I did this, then I'm going to get an army from Lord Barrick, and he's going to give me this, and I'm going to go free the people, and you can be my right hand, and yada, 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 yada. Like, oh, your vengeance and hate have overwhelmed you. She has joined the fucking dark side. Okay? Ansel has joined the fucking dark side. God bless America. Anyway, so as she's sitting there doing that, the master's, the poison's wearing off, kind of points a finger, and she's like, what did you ever do? And what did he ever teach you? And she's like, here, I'll show you what he taught me, and does some weird snake ass hip body check ball, and then like flips her body over, gets on top, and has got her sword down and can kill her. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna kill you. You can do better, or blah blah blah. And he's like, listen, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to get your shit. At 20 minutes, I'm gonna shoot you in the back if I can still hit you. And Ansel's just sitting there, and she's like, leave. And she's like, points her sword. She hands her a sword. Ansel bounces off, goes. She checks on everybody else. Unfortunately, the dead ones are gonna stay. And okay, Malachi, Elias, he gonna be okay. You know, goes whatever. All of a sudden, she's like, oh shit, it's been time. She runs up to the battlement. She's looking out, and going to the north. She sees this tiny speck. And then it's like the scene from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Sean Connery's last movie, where he pulls up the rifle, and he's like looking, and she pulls her bow back, and she shoots. And I'm like, dude, she's been riding for at least 15 minutes on a freaking super duper fancy horse, right? She ain't gonna hit her. Fucking air. Flying through the air, and a horse is right by the horse's freaking back legs, right? Like, she could have hit her if she wanted to, but she didn't. Just showing a message. And then we find out, she looks down. It's been 21 minutes. She had an extra minute. Just saying. Digressing. So, anyway, we go down. We comes up the next day. She's talking to the master. And then the master's all like, hey, come here, let me talk to you. And she's like, what the fuck? You can talk? He's like, yeah, I never took a vow of silence. Everybody thinks I did, so I just kind of let it go. But I only talk when I need to. Like, there are times when you need to use your words, and this is the time. So they have this great conversation. He's like, hey, my people will go back with you. And she's like, well, why? And he's like, well, listen, I know you're in indentured servitude to your master, and that's not right. So here you go. And it's just chest after chest after chest after chest of gold. And he's like, yeah. And here's the letter that you need. And also, you tell fucking Arabin, I'm adding some words here, but that fucking douche canoe, if he got a problem, he can come down here and fight me face to face, because we don't fucking hurt our disciples. He doesn't say all that, but it's more of, we don't punish our disciples. And yeah, she's like, fucking bet, I am ready to take on this new challenge. And then we end there. Wow. What a fucking novella. Master Manipulation 101, today on Assassin's Blade. The Assassin and the Underworld, chapters 1 through 6. Okay, let's get into it. So Selena's home from the fucking desert, right? She stops by, she gets cleaned up, she goes in, and she's about to fucking tell Arabin Hamel, the king of assassins, that she's fucking done, she's got the gold, she's tired of the bullshit, right? Walks up, Wesley's guarding the door, right? She's like, fuck Wesley, I don't give a shit. He's like, you can't come in. She's like, bitch, get out the way. So she walks in, and Arabin's like, sit down, shut up. Doesn't say nothing, just points. And all her fucking power momentum is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how the King of Assassins works. And this is how a narcissist works. Somebody that wants to control you works. She had all the momentum. He just sits her down. All that courage. It just, and he proves it. And then he gets up, he reads the note, couple documents, reads the note under press, and he just goes into this, I am sorry, playing to her feelings, then gives her a mission, high money, high material things that she likes, money, she likes, a mission, she loves those, right? This mission just happens to be something about the whole slave trade business, you know, what she just got punished for. He is giving her everything that she wants to try to buy her back. It is, so infuriating to watch her see this shit, right? But anyway, She doesn't accept it. She never accepts missions right away. She's like, I'll figure it out. Let me think about it. So she bounces out, sees Sam, talks to Sam for a quick minute, and then we meet fucking Lysandra. Okay, I don't like her, but I have a feeling she's going to grow on me. But honestly, right now, I am not liking this female Deuce Bigelow, courtesan-y gigolo. Okay, anyway, digressing. So they have some shit like a quick conversation, and then she goes to sleep. Wakes up the next morning, there's another gift from fucking Arabin. It's some exquisite exotic hair combs, right? And she looks at this and she's like, yeah, okay. She's like fucking looking at that, and she looks down. She's like, I need to get pretty again because I don't feel pretty. So she bounces out to the local beauty salon that she always goes to. It's fucking full day of beauty. Manis, pedis, facials, hair, bumps. She's done. She comes outside and she sees the people about the contract. She's like, those marks are coming here. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do this mission, right? So she goes back, accepts the mission. And then after she's sitting there, Arabin Hamill's like, hey, I got another gift. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this gift is kind of cool. It's like this black stealth suit with like hidden blades. Like she's got an Assassin's Creed hidden blade in this thing, and like all these other things, and super climby, sticky Spider-Man boots and stuff. And they're like, yeah, it's for you. But, you know, Sam's buying one. She's like, how the fuck is Sam? You paying for Sam? He's like, no, Sam's buying. She's like, wait a minute. So ends up, she sees this, and then she goes and fucking confronts Sam. And she's like, Sam, what the fuck? And Sam's like, look, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, what happened to you? And listen, they get into this shit, and Sam gives her the biggest gut punch. Not a physical one, but she's like, you know, because Sam tries to tell her, you realize he's just trying to buy you back. And she's like, yeah, well, you're here. What did he buy you back with? Like, I see the neck popping, right? And he's like, he would never touch you again. Oh, gut punch. Bam. Okay, so that hurt. Anyway, she heard that one. She has to go back in the room, accept that change, because tonight they got to go do some spying. So they're off to the theater. They get in the carriage. It's freaking Selena, Sam, Arabin, and Lysandra, right? So they go there. They're in the freaking box seats at the theater, right? And they're sitting there. They're doing a little spying and looking at everybody. And they're like, okay, target's over there. His name's like what's his name? Donneville. Okay. So looking at Donneville, and all of a sudden the gong rings, music plays, and Selena just lost in the music, fucking eyes tearing. Like, she looks at Sam at one point. She wants to say sorry and everything. And she's just like, oh, wow, you look good. And he's like, oh, you look good too. Music come up. She's got tears in her eyes because the music take her away. And Lysandra at this point's like being a bitch. Like, yeah, it was okay. Like, what the fuck? So anyway, so they get back there, and then, you know, she's talking with Sam, and she feels bad, and she's like, hey, Sam, you want to help me out with this? And he's like, fuck yeah, I will help you out with this, kind of like a payback. And she's like, I'll even give you half the money, right? So they do that, and then they wake up the next morning, so they're kind of like, they're spying on that one, and then, oh yeah, they wake up the next morning, and then they're on the, it's a rooftop. Fucking can't even think. They're on a rooftop next to these gargoyles, right? And it's raining, and they're watching the home, and they're doing all this craziness, and they see one of his guards. They follow him. He goes to a bar, drinks, and then they're really cold, so then they go back. She gets warm, and it's time to go to the Harvest Moon Party. Now, the Harvest Moon Party is held by Donneville's ex-wife, who is his business partner, but she's also the one that's paid the assassins to end the whole trade. So I told you, it's a crazy web we weave. Anyway, so Donneville's at the party, and he's hanging out with these other courtesans, and Selena's like, I'm gonna do some shit. And Sam's like, what? She's like, watch this shit. So she walks over there, and she literally, she manipulates him, gets all the information she needs, same way Arabin is doing it to her. Like, she is so close. I just need her to take her head back and look out of the door she's looking at and realize, or the window she's looking through and realize it's a fucking door, and she needs to open the door and go through it. But anyway, fucking digressing. So, she goes and she gets the information from that, knows what time the meeting is and stuff. So like, hey, it's time to party. So they're sitting there partying. She's getting a little saucy. We're talking like Feyre under the mountain saucy, right? And then all of a sudden this dude with a mask pulls in. Now I think this is Dorian, but I don't know. We don't really find out. So this guy comes up. He's all talking and dancing. And Sam's like, I ain't having this shit. Like, woo! This fucking stops and is like, talk to the hand. The face ain't listening, bitch. She taken. And he's like, oh, my bad. Selena gets all fucking pissed, and then blah, 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 blah. She starts dancing the rest of the night. Wakes up the next morning. She's at her apartment. Pound and hangover, right? She's like, oh, what am I going to do? Whatever. And goes back to the keep. Starts training around that morning with Sam. And then she's like, hey, I'm going to go do some spying. You want to come with me? He's like, I do, but I got to go guard Lysandra because she's got her pre-bidding ceremony because, you know, they're selling off her virginity, apparently. I didn't, whatever. That's wild-ass behavior to me, but digressing. So she's like, I'm gonna go snoop around, see if we can figure out what's in. It's a real rainy scene, and she's all fucking like climbing using the new stealth suit, and she's over here looking at the windows, and then she's looking, and all of a sudden her spidey senses go off, and it's like she sensed the attack before it happened. Fade to black. You can't say we didn't say that was coming. Today on Weiss Beyond the Glass, The Assassin's Blade, The Underground Conclusion. 7 through 12, let's get into it. Okay, so Selena was knocked the fuck out, right? She wakes up, she's down in the fucking sewer, and old, what's his name, Donneville, he does a monologue. I'll give the guy credit. He does a monologue. He's like, hey, we're fucking you leaving, you're down here, and the whole plan is the flooded sewer's gonna kill her, right? So they go in, lock up the fucking door, and they bounce out. Anyway, she's got her new fancy suit on, so she manages to get free, and she's looking for a ladder, so she goes through this whole ordeal where she's down here, can't find there, finally finds a little tube. She gets up, the water's rushing. She finds up, gets to the very top of the grate, right? And she's trying to get out, and she's bashing her hand. She thinks she breaks it at one point. She can't get it out. She's beating, she's screaming. She can't get it fucking open. Finally, she's like, I won't scream until it's time. She starts screaming. All of a sudden, we see fucking Sam. Sam's like, I've been looking for you. He's trying to get out. He's trying to fucking wedge it out with a knife. He can't get it done. Water's fucking piling up. Remember, it's the sewage, so there's all that nastiness in the water. Finally, water's above her head, and blackout. Wakes up, like, breathe, breathe, breathe. They're pounding her on her chest. Spits out all the water, and she looks over, and there's two ladies, and they find a crowbar, right? They get her out. She gets back to the house. She takes, like, 2 baths. After she takes the 2 baths, she soaks her hands in freaking liquor, okay? And then she takes a bath in liquor. And then she takes another 4 baths. And then she's like, I'm gonna take 2 more baths. I'm off fucking morning. And then she freaking, like, does, she's getting ready to go to sleep. Sam comes by, and they end up freaking talking. And she ends up telling the whole story about her and Ansel and the summer adventures. And they both apologize to each other. She thanks him for saving her life, and yada, yada, yada. And she's like, don't worry about it. Let's get back on track with current mission, because my list just got one more name on it because of that whole ordeal, right? And that's how Philip the bodyguard. Okay. So after that happens, excuse me, she wouldn't wake up till noon, and wakes up and takes her 2 baths, goddammit. She does. She takes him 2 baths. Anyway, so as she takes her 2 baths, she finally goes in, and she takes the fucking gold to Arabin, right? And she's like, listen, my debt is fucking paid. Like, whatever, right? Like, all the chests that she got from the muted monk. And he's like, all right, well, you can't be mad at me. This is the only time I'll ever fucking agree with Arabin. He's like, you can't be mad at me that I'm upset. And fair. I mean, his golden goose is gone. But again, Arabin now has no reason for her. There's no ties. He's got nothing, no reason. He can just cut sling load anytime he wants, and she doesn't see it. But let's digress into that. So anyway, so that ends up happening, and her and Sam end up going into the sewers, and like, how the fuck are we going to get into this place? And they come up with the plan where they're going to sit there and wait for the door, the servants to come down and open that big metal door, right? And so they're going to do that. And then as they're sitting there, they come up with a cool plan, and then they start walking out, and then they start talking, and then the talk goes into, and he's like, I've loved you for years, and she's like, what? And then they start having it's her first kiss in a sewer. And it's her first makeout session, because they don't leave till dark in the sewer. If that doesn't tell you the relationship is not going to last, I'm just saying. The foreshadow, it's already starting out in the dumps, in the sewers. I'm just saying. Ooh, Lady Mama Jamma. Okay, anyway, so they get the plan. They come back. She comes back the next day, and she's waiting there for a few hours. They open the door. She sneaks in. They come back. She opens the door. Boom. All right. She gets back in, and she's hiding. She's sneaking. She's sneaking and she's hiding. Now, the plan is that Sam's going to start a fire, cause a distraction, right? She goes upstairs, gets into the office, locks the door, gets inside the office, and she's looking, can't find a paper. She's all doing the whole... She finds a place where the papers are, look at them, she sees X's, and this is like, oh no, what the heck, this is so bad. Doesn't understand what she has going on. Remember, go back to the video of chapter 1 earlier today. I fucking called this shit. Anyway, digressing. So, she does that. She hears some fucking voices, right? She sets everything back up. She's hiding in the fucking armoire, a little bit crack. She's looking there. Donovan comes in, chit-chat. The other guy's like, I don't want to talk very much. Sorry, my kid came out. Okay, where was I? Okay, so we'll just go back. So she sneaks in the metal door. The servant comes by. She goes back, unlocks it. Sam's going to come in at 7:30, start distraction. She's in the armoire. She's got the little brrr, like she hears. She's got the documents. She hears Donneville and the other guy talking, and as soon as the other guy starts coming out, she goes, "Ha-ha!" And she comes out and just quick flash, Donneville gone. And the other guy, he goes to run. And as soon as she goes to strike him, boom, there's an explosion. It was supposed to be a fire, but somehow we got an explosion. Well, that explosion kind of rocks the house, which means old boy gets to escape. So then it turns into a fucking chase scene. He takes off running. She takes off running. They're running down the hall, and the guards are distracted. All of a sudden, here comes Philip down the hallway, and Philip's like, "Oh, what the hell?" And they get into it, and there's a little chit-chat there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to enjoy this." And she's like, "Ha-ha, it's going to be a quick fight." And then she dispatches him really quickly, and with his last breath, he's like, "Donneville loved his country. You've made a mistake. What have you done?" No shit like that. So anyway, so she takes out running out the fucking... Anyway, she figures out which way the guy runs, like using her deductive assassin reasons. Like she can figure out which way the guy's running, but she can't figure out when fucking Arabin's playing her. I'm just saying. Oh, it's so frustrating. Digressing. Anyway, she tracks the guy down. He can't escape the alley. The guy turns around, lights the documents up, and takes some poison. She's like, "No!" And anyway, so she's like, "What the heck?" So she kind of reads them, does her thing, and then, excuse me. So she finds Sam. Sam's been hurt. Oh, she burned his half of the document. She's like, it's the least she could do. She finds Sam. Sam's been hurt. Got a little wound on his arm. He's like, "Yeah, arrow and I were to take here, but the spider silk. No wonder that it's so expensive." And she was like, "That was me." And then they go through that, and then all of a sudden, she goes into Arabin's office the next day, right? And this is where the chit chat comes, and she realizes she got fucking played. Like she just fucking realizes, and I mean not only played, the gold that she paid to get her fucking freedom, Arabin used that to buy Lysandra, like just, but hey, we're free. But oh yeah, she found out she the wrong people. Donovan was the good guy. Whatever her name was, the ex-wife, she was the bad one. Like, oh, she got so played. So played. But again, we saw it coming. She in chit-chat with Arobin. She's like, "I'm gonna get you." He's like, "I can't wait to enjoy the fight. I look forward to it." She fucking storms out. She goes to the house next day. Everybody's bringing her stuff over. Her and Sam are talking like, "Hey, I put my shit in the house, but no, shit didn't work out. But hey, at least we're free." And there we go. Holy crap. Wow. I don't want to read this next one because I know it's about to happen and it's going to hurt so bad. I don't even think the beach is going to heal me after what I'm about to read. Today on Wise Beyond the Glass, The Assassin's Blade, the final novella, The Assassin and the Empire, chapters 1 through 6. Let's get into it. Okay. Selena, she is up in the rafters at her favorite royal music theater place thing, and she's listening to her autumn ball that she usually goes with Arabin. But of course, Arabin is now with Lysandra because, she paid for it. Oh my god. He did her dirty on that one. But digressing. So she's mad, but whatever. She listens to that, finally leaves, goes back, and her and Sam are talking about how fucking life is, and how fucking life is expensive, and this and that and the other and this and that, and he's having to do fights down in the fucking vault for some measly pennies. She's not making any money since, all the bullshit. So anyway, so they're sitting there talking, say, "Listen, we gotta get the fuck out of here, but we can't get out of here until we pay Arabin, and we gotta get out of the guild, otherwise, blah, blah, blah." So she's like, fuck, fine, okay. Go down the next day, talk to him. He's like, "Yeah, sure, you want to do that? No problem. It's going to cost X amount." That is literally the last copper that Selena has. And she's pissed. She finally says, "Fuck it, we'll do it." Sam's like, "What the fuck do you mean? Like, you didn't even bargain." So they go back and forth, arguing. He leaves. He ends up going to the vault. I guess he goes down here to do some underground, ring fighting and stuff, make some money. And she goes down there, they're discussing. She's like, "Listen, we'll get the fuck out of here." And he's like, "Really cool. I'm going to go get us one more job." She's like, "Yeah, one more job each." Well, Sam found him a job, but fuck, we all knew the job, and we all know they shouldn't take the job. The job is for the crime lord, Ion Jancy, and Faron. Saying the names hurt me, but digressing. Next few parts is them there coming up with their mission, how they're going to do that, this, that, and the other, and it's just, It's so rough because you can see the young lovers trying to work their way through this, knowing what they have to do to get free and make a better life. And when you do that, you don't think straight. It hurts so bad. Anyway, so they come up with a plan. And they're about to execute it. Right before they execute that plan, Selena walks into her apartment, and there is fucking Arabin. And Arabin is sitting there, and he's like, listen. And he goes through the whole, I love you, I need you, don't leave, don't take this mission, what are you doing, you're stupid, you're this, that, and the other. And she is like, what the fuck, just get out of my apartment. Oh, the crazy madness. Anyway, so finally he's like, I try to warn you, blah, 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 leave. So they leave. Next day, it's go time, right? They've been scouting this guy out, following him around. The plan is somehow Sam is going to put an arrow in this guy, an arrow in this guy, and 2 arrows in this guy, and then escape. And that's the plan. Whew. What is Selena supposed to do? Stay at home and pack. That's what he says. Go home and pack. Fucking wild. Anyway, digressing. She doesn't know what to pack. He's like, don't take the shoes. She's like, I'm taking my fucking books. So she starts loading up the books, and finally she's just like, she's got this feeling I got right now that something's not going to go right, and I'm going to have to go spend the day at the beach just to get my sorrows out of my mind because it's so sad. Ugh. Anyway, she goes looking for him up, down, every alley, cannot find him. Doesn't know what happened. So she's like, fuck, I better go home. And that's where it ends. And now I'm going to go to the beach and try to enjoy this day because tomorrow I know this book is going to have me... I don't even want to say the words. Fun fact, did you know that our oceans are made up of 50% sea life urine and 50% my tears after finishing this book? Assassin's Blade. The Emperor, or the Empire and the Assassin, the final chapters. Let's just fucking get into this shit, okay? Yeah, we all know what happens, okay? So Sam went to go do his little... He went to go execute his plan with the 4 arrows, right? Oh my god. Well, Selena's been waiting around, hasn't seen him, goes and looks for him, says, okay, I'll just go back and wait for him. Goes back, waits for him. Clock strike 2, she falls asleep. Finally, there's a knock at the door. It's fucking Arabin. He walks in, he's like, Selena. She's like, no. She takes off fucking running. Wesley and Arabin follow her. She gets to the Assassin's Keep, slows down. Arabin goes in front, takes her down to a little chamber place, and there he is, just laying there on the table. Just, yeah, it's bad. So she breaks down, cries, puts her cloak on top, jumps on, got her arm over, hugging him. You know, sad. I mean, just, yeah, she's going through it. And then she has this smell, and then she's like, wait, that's not my lavender soap. It's the cheap soap, but wait, there's something else, but she can't make it out. Anyway, she ends up getting into her old bedroom, sleeps for a few days, and starts waking up, and then she hears 3 people outside her door talking about a plan. Okay? Lays back down, Arabin comes in, like unlocks the door, brushes her hair, she touches her cheeks, and then leaves. And then bounces out. And then he's like, wait, we'll fucking deal with the plan later, we're leaving at midnight. She fucking gets up, puts on some freaking clothes, gets a few hidden daggers that she had there, and she fucking takes off. And she goes to this house, and she's back at fucking Ferran and Jance's house. And she's like, all right, there's the window they were talking about. She's up on this rooftop, like, all right, 50 yards, 50-foot roof, 50 yards, 50 roof. I can make it. There's an open window. Oh, shit, before that, sorry. As she's leaving the Assassin's Keep, she comes down and she sees Wesley. And Wesley's like, and she just knocks the shit out of him. He's trying to tell her it's a fucking trap. Oh, that shit kills me. Anyway, digressing. So she's on the rooftop. She sees the window. She goes jumping in, except the curtains are drawn right, so they close. She jumps in. All of a sudden, she sees fucking everybody up in that bitch. Well, she's going to do what she can do. She dagger to that guy, sword comes out, you take a sword, you take a sword, you take a sword, you get a sword. Oh, there's Jason. Dagger right to his throat. He's down. Farron's just sitting there, and all of a sudden she sees Farron put on like a gas mask, and I'm like, stop. More guards come in, and all of a sudden the room's filled with smoke. She's trying, she passes out. Ugh. Swear to God. Digressing. Anyway, so she starts to wake up, and then we find out they have taken the gonorrhea, the gonorrhea, whatever that poison is, and they aerosoled it. She's out, and he basically like, yeah, I'm giving you to the king. And she's like, wait, what? So he gives to the king, sits in the jail for a few days, and the king goes to trial. She doesn't say shit, and then finally he's like, do you have anything to say, any final words? And she's like, make it a quick death. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, that shit ain't happening. Fuck it. You're 9 lives in Endeavor. And what? 9 lives? I guess nobody knew that. So the next 2 weeks, we end up giving the ride there, and she's living through it. There's a spot where they stop, and she sees the stag, and she like scares it to go off, right? It's horrible. She shows up to Endeavor, and it's just, oh my God. As you can see, my mind is not really focusing right now. I do want to say there was a scene, I forgot to talk about it, where they were talking, and it's at the end after she's leaving out, where it shows when Farah is monologuing and telling her the whole plan and this and that and the king. She still doesn't know who betrayed her. She thinks it's Wesley, maybe somebody else. It's fucking Arabin. We all know it's Arabin. But as she's leaving off, we get that. It's Farah and Arabin on the roof, and they're having conversations. And I guess the original plan was they were going to have Selena go in there, do that. They were going to poison her, knock her out, give her to the king. Hopefully she was supposed to be executed or something, and they were going to save her from the beheading block. But then that she was in the cart and then taken off. Farhan even says it's easier to freaking get the cart. Why did they get in the cart? So then all of a sudden we find out that Farhan's like, why didn't you do it? Why did you do it? And he's like, I don't like motherfuckers messing with my things. You fucking cunt. I said it. Anyway, join us next time when we start the next book, Heir of Fire. Hopefully it won't put me through so much distress, but I have a feeling it's going to because y'all love this. Join us next time.